Ready? Okay, so we're doing the video for Unit 11, and so we're gonna have Matt set up for the pronaos longus, the cuneiform division. So the hip is gonna be at 45, knee is at 90 degrees. We're gonna have him abduct the ankle, and we're gonna have him into full plantar flexion, toes slightly curled, so fully abducted position. And we're gonna have an adduction force. Hold. Okay, good. So the superior aspect, so there's this fibular head here. We're gonna do the superior third of the pronaos longus for our DIFA-MAT. And we're gonna come down, find the base of his first metatarsal dorsally. We come on the plantar surface and into that cuneiform, base of the cuneiform for our DIFA-MAT. We're gonna retest, same position, abducted, toes curled, excuse me, and then to full plantar flexion and it force into adduction. Our picks, same position. We're gonna do a 6-second hold. Hold for 6 seconds, and he's just gonna push 10% contraction into abduction, plantar flexion. 6 by 6, 10%. Excuse me. The pronaos longus metatarsal division is going to be the same setup. Fully abducted, toes curled, and into a fully plantar flexed position. And then the force is going to come up into dorsiflexion. Good. Our DIFA-MAT again, we're going to have the superior aspect of the fibular region on the perineal, superior part of the perineals. We're going to come off the base of the first metatarsal, not so deep as the cuneiform, but come out off the base of the first metatarsal and retest. Again, abducted, toes curled, force into dorsiflexion for our retest. Our DIFA-MAT, fully abducted, fully plantar flexed, toes curled. And then we're just gonna give 10%, 6-second hold for the pick, 6 seconds, six times for 10% contractions for our picks. Okay? So for the pronaos brevis lateral division, that's going to be the same as the cuneiform test, except for we're going to limit the amount of abduction of the forefoot, of the foot. So he's going to abduct fully, and then we're going to back off from that. We still have toe curls, plantar flexed position, okay? And we're going to test. So slight abduction versus the cuneiform. So this is pronaos brevis, the lateral division. Hold again. Good. So now for our DIFA-MAT, we're going to go to that middle third of the fibula. Okay. And then we're going to go to the base of the first metatarsal for our distal DIFA-MAT. Base of the first, fifth metatarsal, excuse me. Again, abducted slightly, plantar flexed fully, force into adduction. Good. For our picks, same setup, slight abduction of the foot, plantar flexed, toes curled, 10% for our pick, 6 times for 6 seconds. So pronaos brevis, the posterior division, it's the same setup, slight abduction, plantar flexed. Our test is though, we're gonna force the foot into inversion, relax Matt. So it'll be coming up into this direction. So again, slight abduction, fully plantar flexed, and then up and in with our force, okay? Posterior division, we'll come on the posterior aspect of that middle third of the fibula. And then into that posterior aspect of the base of the fifth metatarsal. Okay. For our picks, same setup, slight the pronaos brevis, we're going to slide abducted. Okay. fully plantar flex, toes curled, and then we're gonna take him up. We're gonna have him resist that up and in motion. So he's gonna push into my hand 10%, 6 times for 6 seconds. Okay. So now we have the peroneus tertius, the fibular division. We're gonna have the same setup, hip at 45, knee at 45, and we're gonna, for the fibular division, we're gonna have dorsiflexion and abduction of the foot, not so much of the E version, but the adduction, okay? And then our force is gonna be into plantar flexion, okay? Tertius comes in front of the lateral malleolus, so it's a dorsiflexor of the foot. Relax. So the tertius is gonna be on that distal aspect, and we're on the fibular portion, so right off the fibula, that distal third of the fibula, into the base of that 5th metatarsal. Retest, dorsiflexion, abduction, force straight down into plantar flexion. For our picks, we'll have Matt maintain that position in dorsiflexion, abducted position, and he's just gonna give me a 10% contraction 6 times for 6 seconds. 3, 2, 1, done. Our toes need to be flexed too, Matt. Got to make sure you take the toes into flexion, so not extension of the toes. So, and that'll be into. Now the other division of the peroneus tertius, the interosseous division, is going to be a similar setup: dorsiflexion, and then an everted position, so a full eversion. Again, forces into plantar flexion. So push straight down. Toes are curled. Again. Okay. So now we're going to come off the fibula and migrate a little bit more towards the tibia and that interosseous membrane on that distal third. Relax here, Matt. For our DIFA, off to the base of that 5th metatarsal. Okay. We can retest. So dorsiflexion, eversion, and force straight down. Good. For our picks, toes curled, dorsiflexion, everted position, 10%, 6-second hold, 6 times for the peroneus tertius interosseous division. The anterior tibialis, we've got 2 divisions of that as well. We got the tibial division. So this is where we start bringing in adduction of the foot. So we've got adduction, dorsiflexion, and inversion. Toes are curled, okay? And we're pushing down and in. Hold. Good. So for the tibial division, we come off on the tibial side of the tibia anterior, proximally. Then we come down to the base of the 1st metatarsal in the cuneiform. For our DIFA, Matt. Okay. Retest, up and in, dorsiflexion, inversion, toes flexed, and hold. Good. So, anterior tibialis, the interosseous division, is basically the same setup, only there's no adduction of the foot. We're straight dorsiflexion, toes flexed. Okay. And it forces into plantar flexion. Good. Relax. So we'll come off the same proximal side of the tib anterior into more of that interosseous division. Do our DIFA mats there. And again, coming off the base of the 1st metatarsal and cuneiform on the plantar surface. Good. We can retest, toes flexed, and hold. Good. For our picks, will be the roof for him, so 10% contraction, 6-second holds for 6 times. Good. For the posterior tibialis, we have, again, 2 divisions. The tibial division, we're gonna have the again, hip at 45, knee at 45. We're gonna plantar flex and invert. Okay, we're more adduction versus the inversion, so straight across. Okay, and we're gonna hold there, taking him into forces into adduction. Okay, so for the posterior tib, we're gonna go off the tibial branch, so that proximal third of the tibia, away from the fibula. And then we're going to go the bases of the second through fourth metatarsals into the cuneiforms and the cuboid on the plantar surface. Okay, so to retest, forefoot adduction, plantar flexion, and then forces into adduction. Good. For our picks, he's going to maintain that position in the forefoot adduction. 10% hold. 6 of them for 6 seconds. 3, 2, 1. The posterior tibialis, the fibular division, is going to be more of an inverted position, so that big toe is going to be up and in that supinated foot position. Testing force down and on an oblique force, trying to take that foot out of that supinated or inverted position. Posterior tib on the fibular division, again, we're going to get into that fibular side of the posterior tib, proximal third. And then we're coming again down off the base of the second through fourth metatarsals into the cuneiforms and the cuboid on the plantar surface. I'm going to retest with the foot into that fully supinated, inverted position. Hold for a retest. Good. For our picks, we're going to hold that position 10%, 6 times for 6 seconds.